Hell yeah.
The Brits.
Europeans.
All of us, considering you were also shaving after the time you were supposed to go live.
Okay, so I shaved
Yeah,
for the record because they weren't here.
I was here.
We were here.
No,
I was on time.
We were here.
Yeah, but
Was
you
I
were.
on time?
I was
Yes,
just
no.
eating cereal and not dressed.
You were doing.
I was on time. Yeah, you weren't. Yeah, you were
stuff.
naked, so it was weird. That shit was weird.
It took like 2 minutes. Don't bully.
Yeah,
But you were naked, dude. That shit was weird.
If it took 2 minutes, it would be 12:02 right now.
Stop lying to make friends.
Okay, so we got a lot to talk about. There's a lot of new stuff.
Yeah.
Doses.
Yeah, they're changing the smoke on the cap zones to be indicative of which teams got it. Major change.
Major change.
Yeah,
That's pretty dope, though. I don't have a problem with that.
No, neither do I. I was just making it.
The T2. That's where I want to start.
Really though, like, it's a trainer aircraft. Like, come on now, like, it's what the I guess prerequisite to like the F-105.
But it's also
which is probably going to be added next batch.
But I mean, like, come on, it's a cool ass plane.
Yeah, it looks cool, but it's an F-105. That's a trainer aircraft.
But I don't get what you're saying. It's still a good plane.
Yeah, I get that. It's still an F-105 that's not in the game. Like, why?
Oh, it'll probably come later.
All right.
It's probably how it'll work.
Something that was said to me quite a bit yesterday was, "Oh my god, I can't believe we're going this far," and it sort of made me realize that we've just Gaijin's kind of just opened the door for BVR missiles and all the sort of radar guided stuff. See. All this cool stuff by the mechanisms that they've just introduced this patch with the radar system. There's a lot of doors that open.
All right, so let's start broad then, and then we'll narrow down the conversation. Let's do radar first. What do you guys think of radar after playing around with it?
Very, very powerful. However, if they do not remove the arcade indicator that is basically, the radar has weaknesses that the arcade indicator makes up for.
Yeah.
So one needs to go, and it's obviously not going to be the radar system. So.
Yeah, I think that. I mean, it didn't seem like it should still be there. They'll probably take it out by the time
they probably will take it out.
Comes out.
Also, people are going to have to learn how to use it because it took
I know. It took me a while.
Half an hour.
Yeah, it was confusing. There's a lot of.
Once I got that down, I was just like bang, 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 planes out the sky, helicopters out the sky, no dramas.
Well, you're only talking about AA. Is that what it is?
Because you can knock a helo out of the sky with a Gepard or a Tunguska before. You can knock an AH-1Z out of the sky with a Gepard or a Tunguska at their spawn before their tow.
Yeah, we tested this a fair bit, and it's pretty ridiculous at the moment.
Well, that's good. Fuck choppers.
Is it OP or?
Terrain masking works, which is nice. It's almost like everything that I said in that video. Wow.
Yeah, they just copied you.
What video, Kath? You want to link it or?
Right, I will.
I guess it is a little bit OP regarding that. When after like a while of me, so I spawned in the Zulu and Kath was in the Tunguska, and like as soon as I spawned, we were shooting at each other, and so we kind of hit each other roughly at the same time, but if it's like a random helicopter spawning in, they're not going to know exactly where the AA is.
Oh, I didn't. Spit, can you title this angle better, please? I didn't even title it. I'm such a bad streamer.
Well,
damn. You don't even know which episode it is, do you? You don't have many weeks
10.
doing this.
10.
At least you should have on time though, by the way. So
you've done this more than 10 times, mate.
It's number 69.
It's like number probably 18, but out of the ones that you're actually gonna upload, it's like
10. It's 10. Why do you have to make fun of me? Like, that's the real question that I need to understand. Like, do I have to go step out and go make some coffee? Is that what this is?
Yeah,
you want some alone time to just make fun of me?
Yeah.
Just gonna use me up like a paper towel on a spillage. Just using me up.
Listen, slick. It's okay, dude. You'll be fine.
All right, dude. Whatever you say.
Dude.
Whatever you say, dude. I hope it'll be okay.
Yeah, but like to me, like are you guys really excited about the patch? Like
yes.
I think it's I'm actually like pretty excited for it.
I'm
Like, it's
excited for
mostly because of
ARB
new
at the top
content.
tier.
Yeah,
I want to see what Radar is really going to bring to the table. The T2. It'll be fun matches now. T2, MiG-19.
I kind of object to them not giving the radar gun sight to Saber.
I
well,
don't know
yeah.
why they
Because,
haven't
I
done
mean, especially in a situation where they're giving air-to-air missiles to two jets, Mystic Man. They're giving air-to-air missiles to, the Japanese F-40s. They're giving the Germans a new CL with air-to-air missiles, and the Americans get. And I was made a point yesterday on my stream that America gets stuff all the time, and for them to not get stuff one time is fine. Like,
But
there's nothing wrong with that.
They
I'm
did
not
get
I'm not
something.
saying, you know what I mean, though.
Well, yeah, no, they got new sidewinders for the
They got
F100.
sidewinders on on the FJ.
Well, they should have had it for years. Like,
But like
it's weird they haven't.
the radar gun sight is like a quintessential thing for the Sabres, and bringing in radar, I would have expected they would have brought in those radar gun sights for all the Sabres, but maybe they're not bringing those in because like MiG-15 versus Sabres going to be fun.
I don't know. Who
Right,
knows?
like, what the fuck do you want? It was like
It's
inferior
not
plane.
that easy to use. Like radar, I was trying to use radar gun sights in a dogfight with Oxy.
It's quite easy to use.
Yeah, but the way that you have to do it in War Thunder, it's not super easy.
Well, War Thunder does it poorly then. Like in DCS, like it works really well because guess what? It was a pretty good system. Like, just model it that way. Like, yeah,
It's not bad. Like, it's not like there's a huge issue with it now. I don't think. I think it's fine.
I don't know.
In a dogfight with somebody who knows what they're doing, you're not going to be able. You're going to have to keep blocking them with the radar gun sight, and
well, that's why, like, if you're in a close range dogfight,
so much more effort. Someone who naturally knows where to aim is going to win.
Exactly. Well, it's an aid, but
It seems like it's only really going to be useful for sniping at someone trying to boom away and getting the lead just right, like when they're past a kilometer out. I think that's probably the only time it's going to be super. So, I mean, it fires so quick anyway. Like in a normal engagement, like you're dogfighting and you're rolling, you're not going to need it. There's no, how to lead the guns. It's fine. I only think it's going to be really useful in that role, like just do a little snipe. I think.
Do a little snipey snipe.
Little snip.
You guys play any of the French helicopters?
Like real life.
Yeah, they're fucking terrible.
Make me. I got my heart sunk a little bit, and I'm not trying to do a meme, but it did feel a bit like a bit sad.
I was actually disappointed. I mean, it's the German helicopters again, where they're all kind of incapable of standing up to the Russians and the Americans. Except this time, it's worse, and the premium is.
Don't think it's air to air though.
The Mistrals didn't work.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Well, if you went in helicopter test drive and flew the fucking Gazelle up and fired a Mistral at the MiG, as soon as it got close, but it flew really fast. As soon as it got close, they just nosedived.
Oh, maybe that's just like a little bug then.
Yeah, it's a bug. They flew super fast. But yeah. Also, the missile warnings were removed.
Yeah, which is dope. There shouldn't be a missile warning.
That's kind of cool, actually.
I think that's tight.
It's a really bad showcase of the new helicopters in general. Like none of them are really very good. Like the top tier ones, the 9.7, you get a max of 2 hot 280 GMs or 2 hots and 2 Mistral. So your potential is really low.
Yeah.
So and then you have like 2 rifle caliber machine guns. So you can't really take out any other helicopters or whatever, and you're really limited. And the premium one, the Romanian export helicopter, it's meant to have 6 AGMs, but they didn't work. You couldn't control them. They just went in a straight line. So it's
the suggestion was that they were M-class, but then every set, reasonably well versed on the way like missile guidance works, and I couldn't find a single setting that made them work.
Yeah, so
it must have just been a bug glitch type thing for the.
If they actually make them M-class, like God bless the French. Good luck trying to do anything. God bless the early Russians and the early Americans with the AGM-22s.
God bless the people who bought the pre-order for the helicopter when there's nothing worth grinding.
Yeah.
And the one they get isn't very good. Although it is probably going to be the best one if if they fix the AGMs, which they probably will. So
Which should be
But it's
sick.
got S5Ks. Like they're not good rockets. You use them on anything. They don't pen anything. I tried to make them useful in Grind RB for a good 2-3 months. And
Make what useful? Hellfires?
S5Ks.
Oh yeah, S5Ks
The
don't do
heat
anything.
rockets on the MiGs. Well, that's the only rockets that this helicopter's got.
Yeah.
So you've got you've got S8KOs, you've got 80 S8KOs on the Hinds, and then you've got basically nothing on the French tree. It seems like every tree other than the US and Russia is rushed and bad.
like the models.
I'm sorry to
almost-
say that because I don't normally pick at the company, but there's been no thought put into making every nation's helicopters as powerful as the US and Russia, and whether that is backtracking without being able to remove the Zulu and the Hind, so not making it any worse.
Or it could
I
just
don't-
be that
I don't like it.
these countries didn't have good helicopters.
You could easily add the
Yeah.
Tigers. You could
Well,
easily
yeah.
add the Tigers.
But that's a
Yeah.
big jump
Like,
when you
what-
don't have
yeah,
a tech tree in yet.
But for what they've got, compared to the Zulu and the Super Hind, it's not.
Well, yeah.
they're comparable.
But
know,
you
they're
want
not-
saying
to
it's
you want to
really
know
not.
something crazy though? Is like last patch they didn't have anything,
Nah.
so they could just not have anything. I don't know. I'm a glass half
people-
full kind of guy.
Like
I don't think
I
that's a solid argument though. Like, oh
Yeah, I
well, at
think
least
Cat's-
it's some
Well, it is
Yeah, I
something.
think
I'll
I
have
agree.
fun with them.
No, I think Cat's kind of right in that.
check angle,
the
better check.
The British kind of should get like a at least like the Tiger, like get the Eurocopter.
Yeah, they should.
Be like comparable, but
Why? What's an angle
Would it
better
be
chat?
that-
I can't go there.
would it be that good
Um,
or?
Awake today.
What?
Chicken awake.
I
McChicken bites.
I can't get to it.
You can't get to it.
I don't really don't care.
I have like the Discord open. You know what
Oof.
I'm talking about? And I can't get to the arrow. Yeah, it's a shame.
Oof.
It's all gone.
He's actually awake. Let's get him in because it'll be interesting. If he actually shows up in time, like you do, it'd be fucking incredible.
How many weeks has that been that he hasn't shown up on time? I'm just saying.
Yeah, Croc, you're still on the shit list for the early podcast. Don't think we forgot.
Hey man,
Yeah, I
hey
mean,
man,
people in glass houses, Croc, of all the people.
Dude. listen,
Dude,
Of all the
listen,
people,
dude, dude, I didn't even mean
fucking
it,
New
dude.
Jersey out here, dude.
But yeah, no, I think the radar is pretty dope. Yeah, the helicopters are a little underpowered that they added, but everything else seemed pretty fun. I had fun learning how to use the radar. Like,
It was pretty good.
it was pretty fun. The Tunguska, I don't want to say it wrong. I know some people are going to get
Tunguska.
hella offended, dog. But, I mean, shit. Did you see those missiles, what they do to tanks?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that'll make it to live.
I think it will.
They're
It
not,
better.
Why not,
they're
though?
not supposed to be anti-tank missiles.
Yeah, but it's just how the game's core mechanics work. The heat, it's HE, it's explosive. It go boom boom on the Dundu.
Oh no.
Yeah.
The blow helicopters that they're not meant to go through tanks. If that makes it to live, I'll be very surprised.
I don't think it will.
I think top tier is decently balanced, to be honest, Adam. I don't think like top tier is complete. I think people just don't know how to aim, and if your team goes down, there's this thing in top tiers. Tanks can shoot faster, they can kill faster, and they can move faster. So if you lose 5 guys in a low tier match, you're able to get back into decent positions to defend the spawn. In top tier, they're already going to be at your spawn. So it's
Hell
like, it's just faster. It's the tipping point is earlier on in the match, and that could just create like a shitty match. But as far as like tanks go to tanks, like T80 can kill an Abrams kill T80, Leopard, you know what I mean? Like they all kill each other. Obviously, I think the H1Z.
Not next patch.
Yeah.
What do you mean, not next
yeah,
patch?
Next patch,
I
our
think,
TATU. TATU is going to be your boy.
Well, it's gonna be a strong tank, undoubtedly.
Did you
It's the most
face
armored
up the
tank,
TATU to the M1A1?
Yeah.
Did you shoot through the turret cheeks of the M1A1?
No.
Yeah, it gets lol penned by the TATU everywhere.
It goes right through.
What cat?
Mango
That's the best
shell,
tank, right?
lol
Or-
pen, the
or support
M1A1.
tank, or-
all that.
Can the Abrams
Because-
not one shot the breach?
I mean, yeah, you can go through the driver's support, right? You can go through the driver's hatch, you can go through the lower front plate if you can see it. But the T-80U doesn't have to.
Yeah.
Just aims the general direction of your tank. Oh, look, there you go. I killed your turret crew.
Well, yeah,
That's like, hold up. Like, how's the A5? Like,
I didn't get to use
What
it,
did it-
so no, they
Alright.
they didn't show, like, it wasn't done. I just had this. I got to see it and look at the model. It's obviously the same from April Fool's event, but the ammo was the only difference. It had DM33. Everything
I
else was
think
just...
the Ariete gets right. Ariete got the same round.
Yeah, that gets DM33 as well.
actually,
is pretty
how's the armor on that tank? It's pretty poor, right?
Yeah, it's not. I don't think it's going to be that good. We were talking about it, but yesterday it kind of has the same philosophy as the 2K in that it doesn't have lots of armor. It's like the like layers of normal roll with air in between. And the reason why it works on the 2K is because of the hyper angles and there's lots of negative space inside the tank. So there's reasonably high chance that you can hit it and not really do any damage. But the Ariete is so compact and small that if you're gonna, if you pen it, you're gonna knock a fair bulk of the internals out.
Yeah.
You're not going to struggle to go through the ammo rack either because
Yeah.
it's only like little bits of metal that are protecting it. It's not.
And it doesn't
Ultra armored.
seem, it doesn't
can
really
pause it,
seem
but it's
super
not.
mobile.
It's
either.
it's pretty fast. I was going like 60 with it.
Yeah,
I mean, I was driving it around coasting it, but it felt like a stock Clio 2A4, and that's
Yeah,
like, next to the crew.
It doesn't have a lot going for it really. It's a lot like I guess the AMX40,
Mhm.
but yeah, I
Without
don't know.
the benefit
With a
of
good
just
round though. What BR was
Right.
it? Was it 10?
9.7.
9.7. For 9.7, I mean, that DM33 is dangerous. T64B and down gets upper front plated. I was doing that on the test
But so
circuit
do you.
range.
Like,
Well, yeah, of course, but
there's
I
no
don't-
comp.
you have to
really
understand, I don't rely on armor. I don't care about that. I think it'll be a decent tank.
But you still got to look at everything.
It'll be able to do some stuff.
It doesn't.
It'll be a good backup for the automatic. Now, the
Actually, quite
automatic,
true.
Quite a good point.
on the other hand, I was piecing people with those rounds with the radar from far, far away.
Yeah. Well, I was waiting for Oxy to spawn in because you get that little triangle
Yeah.
tells you you got a radar ping. I was locking onto him immediately and just going bang, 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 and he was dead before his missile. His missile had barely left.
Yeah, you
And-
were nailing me from about 4K out.
Mhm.
Was
With
quite
the proximity
experience.
fuses, it shows you exactly where to throw them, and you just drop them over there, and then the helicopter's dead,
You're dead. You're dead.
which is good. Do flares work now for those missiles, or what?
What, for the Tunguska?
Yeah.
No, because the Tunguska's missiles are radio guided. They're basically ATGMs that have a proximity fuse. Is the best way of thinking of, in terms of game mechanics. They're ATGMs.
Yeah. That sucks.
If you radar lock and track your target, yeah, Blaze Angel, they're radar, but in the actual game mechanics, you can launch them like ATGMs. They are modeled as ATGMs that just happen to follow your cursor, and when you're radar tracking, just follows your cursor. It's an ATGM as far as the game.
Well, I think it's a better system though, to be honest, than fire and forget.
Yeah, the mechanism of guidance relies on you locking with radar.
Hmm.
Yeah, but from testing it, they'll really I can't words. Basically, if a helicopter's not paying attention, they will completely annihilate them every time. But when I was aware that the missile was coming in, I could easily just kind of
Dodge
jubble
it,
the
yeah.
helicopter about. I think I only got hit once out of about 10 missiles. So if they're aware of it, it's kind of counterable. But so you got to be a bit smarter with helicopters now, which I think is really what the gameplay needed. They're going to have to use lateral cover and everything. So I think it's actually pretty good. I'm hoping that it's going to be in a much better place and people will probably have less of a problem with it.
Masking is significantly effective now.
Yeah.
But like I said, that arcade aim indicator, you can still see that through terrain. You can still.
Yeah, they have to just remove that entirely.
That needs to go. It needs to go. Now that we have radar tracking, it has to. The optical tracking system, I didn't manage to get it working on the M163, but I did get it working on the system. And it's basically just the radar lock, but you have to be in your scope to do.
Okay.
Scope in, look at the target, press radar lock.
I enjoyed the planes, testing out the radar on the planes. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, it was interesting to sort of kind of play. It's like laser tag in it with or not laser tag, like flashlight tag
Yeah,
with radar.
yeah, it's pretty
It's
cool.
going to be really good for ground RB as well because there's no markers. So when those planes are kind of skirting the tree line, trying to avoid
Yeah,
detection, like they're going to get picked up. So taking heavy fighters out at low is now is probably going to be a really good idea. Yeah, overall, I think it's really good.
yeah, I'm
It's gonna be
excited.
a good time.
I'm very
What did we think
excited.
of? Did you get to try Alaska? It's like
Yes, I did play Alaska. I like the map. I don't know how it's gonna play. You have to wait till like a full match gets played. But I like the design of it and the city. It seemed like it had some good open spots. But you might be
the
able to
buildings.
get yeah. I like how the buildings are spaced. Like there's still corridors, but it's not as cluttered as like some of the city maps are. You know, it has
like-
like clear paths.
Yeah. What I was thinking as well, like what makes it a good, well, I guess a safer top tier map is that because there's so much vertical cover from the buildings, it's going to be harder for helicopters to just lob AGMs down and hit tanks because there's so much cover.
Yeah, if you're in
So,
the,
like-
and even cast like normal planes, like you know, you could drive around a building.
Oh yeah, it's like I think it's really well designed in that regard. It might not work super well, as like a tank v tank arena in terms of actual air support coming in, like actual casts. I think it's going to be it's going to really inhibit their overall potential because on most maps you can just kind of you spawn in and you can see everything. So
Yeah.
I think it's going to be good.
I just like
The
the
only-
direction they're going with this. I'm really excited. I hope they do it right because I've always wanted like an Ace Combat War Thunder, you know what I mean? Where
Yeah.
it has the radio systems, but it's dumbed down a little bit from DCS. And it is. It's dumbed down a lot from like what you have to do in DCS, but it's also way more advanced flight models and stuff than like Ace Combat. It's way less arcadey, so I think it's it's gonna be super fun. I could see them adding like the MiG-21, you know, like all the cool shit with sidewinders, the F4, maybe some seed. It would be pretty cool.
I really want, I'm like for Cass, and
Yeah.
I'm like for like murder and SVA and stuff, and I want to Wild Weasel radar. I want radar guided or SAR semi-active radar homing missiles to fucking knock out
Yeah,
radar
cool.
stations. Is it AMRAAMs that they call them in the USA?
Yeah, Slam Rams. Slam Ram. Slam Ram.
No, beyond visual range air-to-air missile. That's the air-to-airs, and then
But yeah, it's pretty cool. Flying through the buildings. Yeah, that'd be sick.
arms.
But I don't know. I enjoyed playing the T2. It offers something that I really like in a plane, something that you're not afraid to go fight another jet, but you also have options for ordnance. Carrying like 2 missiles and hydras makes you feel, I don't know, for me it just makes me feel like I'm not only doing one thing. You're a true multi-role at that. It's cool, and a lot of planes around this time period started to just have fixed points for some sidewinders or some type of anti-air missile on the wings, so you can carry 2. And like having
Yeah.
that backup just feels nice. It's cool. I also
They've
like that there's a
changed-
Vulcan in the T2. Like I like that.
They've changed all of the hydras in game to Mighty Mice.
Yeah.
And they've gone from 290 at 0 degrees to 230.
I still think they're gonna be decent.
Yeah, but they're going to be less effective.
Well, you have to score
is-
a hit anyway now. Like you have to
Yeah,
hit
but,
them
like-
anyway.
I mean, you had to hit with hydras either way.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
I want some things to have hydras. Like, I don't know whether that was just a dev server thing, but they changed every single hydra to Mighty Mouse.
it might have been spaghetti code. They might have meant to add it for like the new nation or something new. Did you see the new ordnance loadouts on the bows? Did you guys check those out?
Yes,
Yeah.
we did.
They're pretty cool. I like the one. It's not that they're super effective, but it's cool that you can carry 3 ATGMs, a gun, flares, and 3 hydras. Like, it's just a
They're
funny
really,
loadout.
made them a lot more versatile, which is what I think they needed. So like I think I didn't really check all of them. I think the premium's probably still the best one. I don't know if
Yeah,
premium.
I think it is.
Yeah, because you're losing one arm basically, aren't you? So you've
Mm.
still got the 4 toes as opposed to what, 3 hots.
Yeah.
Yeah. And toes still work fine. Like I don't think I really have too much of a problem with them, even at like 10.0.
Mm.
I'm excited for better missiles. I had a lot of fun shooting a missile and actually seeing the load limit work. Like the difference between the normal I think the ones that are truly notable, the new Russian missiles for the MiG-19 aren't that crazy. I think they go up by 1G, but the
Yeah,
American
it's
ones
just-
go up by 4. So like you could really see the difference in
They
the
can
turn. Yeah, the turn it'll pull. Like it's pretty dope. It's fun that they don't have that beep anymore, or the missile's been launched. Like you should just be watching your 6 now. It's gonna be
Yeah, what I was doing, because I basically we were testing out the supersonic voice on, and I got to a point where I was just going supersonic at really high altitude, and then I just sort of turn my camera to the front and every now and then just hear shh of like a missile that I couldn't see coming
Yeah.
at me.
It's cool.
It's
I
great.
I think it's gonna be fun, especially with more variety of top tier. This is a savior for ARB.
Yeah.
I'm seeing if they do it right. You know, like
Some people who play a lot of ARB are not happy.
oh,
all.
that's completely fine. I get it, but at the same time, like I'm sick of doing the same ARB over and over and over again. And there's a lot more people I think that have left ARB who want a change than people who are complaining about the changes they're adding. Like just go fly some normal planes. Like go fly a Spitfire. It's gonna stay the same.
I
But
think the problem a lot of people have is that for the Axis teams like Germany and they have very few junk 9.0s,
mhm.
whereas like a lot of the allies like France and the Valtours, like when I was spading the B, I think my win rate was at 31% because of all the junk 9.0s they had. But like with Germany, you know, we've got the CLs, MiGs, F40 Sabres. They're all like some of the best at the BR. But for other nations, you've got things that aren't quite as easy to use, and just things like, well, Valtours is probably the easiest example to make. But yeah, and I think they need to really spread a fair few things out, or change the way that the team composition works. Like maybe make Japan like a nation that can be paired with anyone, because if it's Japan and Germany and Italy as well, because they don't have any junk 9.0s, it's going to be really imbalanced.
Of
Yeah.
all the times, like when we've got a massive content patch, I feel a bit guilty talking about this. I want East German tanks, and I want it to split East and West.
That would be
I want-
cool. But see,
yeah.
I see why they haven't done it.
Because you could put both tanks in a lineup and mess it up.
Yeah,
I really just want East German tanks.
See,
We've
I
got East
wouldn't-
German planes. We're still getting East German planes. Give me East German tanks.
I wouldn't mind 2 T-Series East German tanks. Like just adding 2 of them, give me a T-55 and something else for like my 8-7 lineup. Oh my god, I'd be so happy with that. I don't care if they're on the same team as Germany. Like they don't always have to face, or maybe they could just make it.
We've gone past historical battles quite
Yeah,
some ways.
I mean we have. It'd be
I
cool.
mean, they could definitely do it in sim though.
Yeah.
They could
They could do it in sim. Yeah, true. If you load up with a East German tank, you spawn on the Russian team.
It might do some fucky things to the queues.
Yeah,
though,
they don't have
because
like an algorithm
German
set up to
flags on
really
both-
do
Yeah, I
that.
don't think they have the architecture for that.
But
Sad though, because it would be really, really, really cool to do like East versus West.
exactly,
I'd really like that.
it'd be cool.
Because I think that's something that Bay's mentioning is that with the addition of T7 tanks and these tanks that we're getting that are reasonably late models, it's not going to go much further into the future. So we're either going to start getting your variants, your T72 late series and your fucking
Yeah,
M1A1HAs and this and that. Challenger 2 with actual armor packages.
yeah. Well, that's another. We'll talk about that in a second.
And like they can either sort of go sideways with some variants, or they can take the game modes in more interesting directions, which I'd like to
Agreed.
see.
So, did you guys try the Charlie? too?
Yes,
Okay.
we tested it quite extensively.
Okay, so before I ask any questions about it, I just want to say it was so ugly I didn't play it. I didn't buy it, didn't put it in. It was so ugly that I don't even know if I'm gonna get it. It's the
When it's naked, it doesn't
yeah,
look good.
I know, yeah,
When it's
I know. It looks
all
really
of
good when it has the array packages, and that's my second thing. Why does it not? Because it looks so ugly.
Fuck knows.
It is disgusting. It looks
I
like a
can't, I can't
xenomorph.
get. I can't get a decent answer as to why they didn't put the proper armor package on it. We
The
never sent it. That the model that we have in game is a training model. It's
Yeah.
like take all the armor packages off it because we don't need to damage them because we're not going into combat. But then you go into combat, you put them all.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I get that. But okay, so after the extensive testing, was it a decent tank without the armor packages?
It is. It is significantly strong.
It's really strong.
Significantly strong.
We were
That's a pain in the ass
sniping.
because then I'm gonna have to buy it to abuse it. But it's disgusting. I'm gonna feel. I mean, it's just so gross looking.
Like we did sniping matches and trading shots with me in the TATU and Kath in the Challenger, and it was hitting its weak spots is really difficult.
Even
It
with the
takes a fair
mangoes.
while.
Yeah,
Yeah, even with
yeah.
the mangoes. They're like the only times I could get around through is when I like slip one right underneath or into the driver's
Into the
port.
driver's periscope.
Yeah,
Or,
that's
like, this
that.
one
It's the only
part.
flat armor on the front of the tank.
It's not even flat armor. It's just that it sort of goes, does those bullshit
Yeah.
ricochets.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I can see how it would do
it's
that.
Really powerful.
Well, it's good.
gonna be
At
very
least
good.
that's good. It's still hideous, but I'll play it. Like, look at that. It looks like a xenomorph.
Cute. Also, the composite extends down the front as it should.
That's
is
good
nice.
too. Yeah, that is good.
Which I was complaining about before. It's almost.
Did
right
you
there.
guys try the Seahawk?
Yes.
What do you think of the Seahawk?
I flew the German one first, and I was like, "Oh my god, look, we are actually getting a British aircraft that doesn't feel like a brick." And then I flew the British one, and I was like, "Fuck, feels like a brick." It's got a different engine.
Oh, okay. See, I didn't fly either of those either because that falls under the same category. It's disgusting. Like the plane is absolutely hideous to look at.
No. It's so small. It looks chunky and big, right? But it's really small.
It's tiny,
And
yeah.
nimble. It is nimble. For
Wait, so the premium one is nimble.
8.3. Well, they're both nimble. It's just that the British one doesn't have as much like low end acceleration.
Mm-hmm.
But if you've got your energy, you've got your energy. Nimble as heck. When you've got Hulk, nimble as heck.
I still think it's gross looking.
It's really cute.
It's quite cute.
It's really small. Like you don't realize when you look
I
at
have
those.
to see it. Yeah, I guess
all
I
it
have to
is,
see it.
Little babby little sparrow plane.
Okay,
Look at the
so
size of the cockpit and then
all
compare
right.
that to a Hunter.
This is another good thing. Well, so it has good ordnance, right? It carries
Yes.
these-
Although in the test episode we didn't have all those ordnance options.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't get the like the what was it 24 AP rocket. Like,
Yeah.
it
but-
will have it. It's
Yeah,
just
I
like-
could see it right now I'm watching the dev blog. But that segues me to something that is a small plane that got a little bit bigger. How about the chunky G91? The chunk boy.
Mad.
The chunky lad.
At the BR that it is at, it is going to be the best 9.0.
Now that thing
If
is
it
ugly
stays
too.
at 9.0, it's going to be the best 9.0.
I don't
hands
think
down.
it can reasonably stay there.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
I mean, it's one of those. It's like the T2 in that you point it upwards and it loses like 1 kilometer an hour,
Yeah,
like one at a time as you're going up hundreds and hundreds of meters in altitude.
it's like 90, something like 92, 94 meters a second climb. Stupid. I don't think it'll. I think they'll probably bump up the BR range a little bit. I mean, they have. I mean, I think the whole point was that they were going to decompress a fair bit, so I think it's not.
Yeah,
gonna
they
stay
haven't.
there.
I don't think. they've
Yeah,
done any
it's
of
safe
the
to
BR
say none
adjustments
of
that they're gonna do.
none of those were right. I did fly the G91 though. I thought it was cool. It was definitely faster. I don't like how chunky it got though. Obviously, it has more like 2 engines, and it's got to be chunky, but
It has 100% more engine.
it's a chunky boy. I don't know how I feel. They took my slim angel hair pasta and they made it fettuccine.
When
And-
fucking twisties, though.
Yeah, they made them twisties.
Where's
Where is
Croc?
Croc, by the way? Yeah. Croc pass out?
Where's he gone?
Where's he been?
Croc.
Did it take us that long to realise he
How
wasn't
long
here?
has he been gone?
It took a solid 25 minutes for us.
Check, did he use his life?
He died.
Where's he gone?
He fell asleep. He might have fell asleep.
Where you go?
Dude. Here, hold on. Let me talk about the John Jones fight, and maybe he'll be back. We can't hear you, Crack, by the way. Maybe he is talking. He did some weird shit. Remember? He, like, had to leave? I
Yeah,
don't know.
he just puts his. I think he just puts his mic down and then he goes, "Can you hear me now?" And he just comes back and like out of nowhere.
God damn. Maybe he got
He's
stuck in
fallen
the
and he can't
toilet?
get up.
Who knows?
Maybe.
Should we
He
be
fell asleep on the
concerned?
toilet. No.
No? Alright, I guess we shouldn't be concerned. But yeah, the G91 was pretty fun. I like the Japanese premium saber. I love the skin on it. The skins
Really
for the
good.
Japanese planes, incredible. Like that T2, all four or three or four skins all look awesome.
That's gonna be
Which
the
Yeah.
best buy. I
is
think.
something I always fucking. That's what I like when they add a tank. You know, I hate getting the same generic fucking camos for every vehicle. I like when there's some unique shit. So the T2 having like an orange and gray, and then like a blue, and then the camo. Like
They
it's dope.
also added F100D Vietnam camo, which is going to be the
So
reason that I
nice.
buy the F100.
Nice.
So nice, man.
I'm not even joking. That alone,
I didn't
that
check
camo
it. I didn't see
is
it.
going to make me buy the F100.
Yeah, I
Call
didn't.
me a sucker for skins, but my god, it was gorgeous.
Yeah, that's how I feel. I really enjoy seeing new skins and stuff. Um, so yeah, the Japanese saber, the premium one, looked pretty cool. I didn't take a look at the Israeli Valtor, but does that get air to airs?
Yes.
Gets 4. Yeah.
Nice.
They are apparently AIM-9B analogs, but I didn't test them.
Oh, okay. Well, I like
Copy
the
and
skin on
paste.
that too. I think that thing's cool. It's a premium,
Gets
right?
an alternate one as
Yeah,
well,
it's
which is
premium.
like a dark grey and like sand. It looks really nice.
Yeah, it's dope. I like those the skins. There's a new hunter skin. I didn't see it. But yeah, I like that. I think they're dope.
What was it called, Oxy, that skin? Because it was a named plane, wasn't it?
The what?
It was a named plane.
For which one?
The F100D.
Oh, it was a state, wasn't
Nashville Sound.
it? That was it. Yeah, think so. So nice.
Yeah, it's pretty sick.
I'm glad they've started to add skins to some of the top tiers because I mean, plain aluminium does get a bit sort of dull.
Exactly,
Like-
exactly. And when you get to see it on your team, right? Like you could have 3 T2s all rocking different skins. That's dope. I wish you could go. Well, you can kind of go even farther than that, but you know, I'd like more skins for more planes. I do like the CL skin, the new CL, and I also like that it's not premium. I like that they're just adding another CL. Some people might get mad about that because the CL ruined top tier ARB because it's so fresh, but you know, I think it'll be fun. Sidewinders on that thing are gonna be annoying considering you guys did it. You did it, Oxy. You fought in an F2 and you were killing 10.0s when they first came out. So like, just imagine now that you get sidewinders and still the maneuverability of the slower plane. Like, it might be
gonna be
deadly.
a-
You'll have like a peel off and then pull behind somebody and he's thinking he's running away and he doesn't know that there's sidewinder on his ass, which would be
Yeah,
cool.
I think if they manage to balance it in a way where one team or one side isn't full of like junk planes, then I think it's going to be really good. If they kind of balance it all out, I think it's because it needed variety, it needed decompression, and if they nail that, I think it's going to be good. But in the way it is right now, and obviously it's not going to get to the live in that state, but if it does, or rather, if they don't change enough, it's going to be a bit of a mess. But I think they're smart enough to change stuff, so
Yeah,
hopefully it'll be good.
it'll be sick.
Hopefully.
So all the French helicopters you didn't like, did you see the Alouette 3? How stupid that helicopter looks? It looks like somebody took a potato and like molded glass
It was-
over it and then took the potato out.
Broadly like that link. So,
Where's the link? In chat?
yeah. The F100D skin I just tried
That's
to
it.
find. But it has a little white inscription on the nose that just says Nashville Sound. But it's more or less that.
Nice.
Yeah.
I already have a Vietnam skin though on my. It's just a custom one, and so they might be adding the one I have. What was the one I have? It's like Thunder something. I think it's called
It's
Thunder something.
Thunderbirds is like the Sky Blazers camo. That's
No,
also
no.
they added that as well to the
No, I have
F100.
a Vietnam skin for my F100 that's called Thunder. Maybe it's not Thunder. Thunder something. Let me see if I can find it online.
Thunder something.
Thunder
Thunderstrike.
something. F100. Or it's like Thor's hammer, I think, maybe. It might be Thor's hammer. I know that's a little different. Let's see if I can find it.
Did I get a talisman on the P108B?
Is this it? No, that's the dealer or death. Dealer or death. Yeah, this one. It is Thor's hammer. Yeah, so I have this right now on my F100. I'm sure it looks pretty similar to the one they're at. But it's cool that it's actually in the game now. So
I
like,
think that they really do need some
Yeah,
more
very similar to that.
let's see if anybody posted pictures of things. Okay, this is something I did check out briefly, albeit, but the new boats. Did you guys see the new light cruisers that they're adding?
I glossed over them because I don't really know boats. A
Yeah,
lot.
I don't really know boats a lot, but I do know that the ones they added are pretty fucking strong. The Brooklyn, crazy. It gets
that one's crazy, yeah.
6 turrets, I think, all with 3 152s. I could be wrong. It might be 5 turrets, but all with
Gonna come
3
back up.
152s in it. The Kirov gets 180s.
Yeah, they're all
Triple stack 180s, which is dope. They have the Kirov, the Nuremberg being added is dope. That has a little bit bigger guns. I think it really does look like they're going towards the battleship route now, that they're getting bigger and bigger, and
I
that's
think
pretty
they
dope.
realize they have to.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. And I knew it was going to be a slow process. They couldn't just jump into the Bismarck. But they're starting to add ships that actually have names, like that actually people will know.
Yeah, exactly. They need that. They
Yeah.
really needed that.
And once more of those keep coming, I think it's just a matter of time. They added one for the Brits. I can't think of the name of it. It's the HMS.
Didn't seem very good.
No, it didn't. It didn't seem too good. It was a little boxy. But the Kirov, the Nuremberg, and the Brooklyn all looked pretty good. They also added new destroyers for I think each nation as well. So there's like a 1930 something German destroyer, and then they added the Olgnevy for Russia.
I can't remember the names. But they
Yeah.
all look pretty decent. The new German one looked.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. It's actually a New Zealand ship. Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah, the 1936A mob. But this will be cool because they're going to add, when they add Japan, it's going to be, now I can see like Mogami and like the bigger, like their light cruisers, which are pretty famous ships. They're really good ships being added, which will be dope.
That's really what they need, I think. 'Cause I mean, I don't know much about ships, but I imagine the average person who's kind of interested in them,
I
they
don't
look
know
at what we
much
have
about it.
now.
Yeah, they like,
Don't do that.
they like
Like,
the,
You look at the you look at the trees, and it's like, I don't know any of these. Like maybe like a couple in each tree, but all the named stuff, like the famous stuff, it's like there's nothing that really draws you into it.
exactly.
And the ships are cool, like the models are absolutely
Awesome.
lovely, but
Yeah.
it's like, you go into the aircraft, you go into tanks, you want to play the tanks and the ones you've heard of, and the ones that have a reputation.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, with the ships, I mean, some of the riverboats, I'm sure people like those, like the US ones, but mostly, like, no one really knows any of them. So there's no, like, I don't know. Like, I think people really need more name stuff. You're completely right with it.
Yeah, just not necessarily bigger ships, just more famous ones. But they're getting there. Like the fact that the Brooklyn is being added, I knew about the Brooklyn. Like it's cool. I hope they just keep doing that. They could add like the Cleveland, or I don't know, some other stuff. They added the Somer, I think too.
Yes,
for
yeah, they did.
the U.S., which is pretty cool. I don't know. I'm generally excited for this patch. I haven't been super excited about any patch in a while, but it seems like they're adding nice things. You know, a G91 with 30 mils have been asking for that since they said that they were adding the G91. You know, and it's cool that we get an afterburner one with 30 mils now. Sidewinders. Some of the sabers have sidewinders, which is dope. I like how some things get radar, some don't. My biggest disappointment of the patch thus far, like if I'm gonna have a prediction, is the MiG-19S. I don't think it's actually gonna do that much. You have to be good with the
Yeah.
cannons, and the rockets are trash, and you only get one bomb load, as opposed to just bringing a MiG-15 and using the tiny Ivans and ground forces. It's just gonna be better. Doesn't
Yeah,
get
I
radar or
didn't-
anything.
I mean, I didn't really play. I haven't played the 19, the Russian one, but just like from a pleb standpoint, from like me playing it, it doesn't. Yeah, it didn't seem very good. I couldn't really
Not.
use it. But...
I tried to use the S5Ks on it, and they're extremely inaccurate. They don't fly straight. They're swirly eyed. They fly wherever they
All-
want.
To be fair, all rockets that we tested, they all seemed really inaccurate.
Everything except for the snebs and the super misty.
Yes, yeah, everything
Hmm.
like RP3s, all the little other pod rockets, they really inaccurate, spreading all over the shop.
Russia isn't missing out on CAS. What? Russia has a MiG-17.
Compared to
Mi-35.
yeah, they don't have an FJ analog. Though.
No, they don't have an FJ or an F100D, but they have an Mi-35 and a MiG-17. I mean,
Yeah, but that's like 2 pop rockets on the.
and
MiG,
they have the
on
Tunguska,
MiG-17.
so they don't have to worry about CAS.
Yeah, I mean, on the one hand, I can see that there's a disparity between CAS, but on the other hand, they are going to have the stronger SPA this patch.
So this is the
They
thing.
are going to be the ones. They are going to be the ones that swat in the.
I do think that the Tunguska obviously is the best, the newest and the best AA. It's going to be the best in the game, but I don't think it's going to be that far off because of the radar changes. Like things like the Gepard, when you use it now with radar, you're going to be hitting planes and stuff from way farther out than you have before. Same thing with, I was using the Sergeant York with the radar. I would shoot like 2 shells, like boom, boom, with the radar lead indicator, and plane would just disintegrate. It would hit like every time if you hit it right in the circle. So I like how the radar guidance, like the radar lead, is actually true to nature. It's not like the arcade shit. Like I don't like the arcade shit because it's just fundamentally broken. It doesn't necessarily help you aim. All it does is break the game. Like now that we have radar, we can just get rid of that shit.
It feels like it's not going to make it to the live. There's no point having 2.
Yeah,
It's
exactly. 2 types.
just weird.
There were situations where like the arcade lead indicator would pop up and it'd be so far behind where I'm actually supposed to aim.
The arcade lead indicator is accurate to the back of the plane.
Yeah.
The radar one is accurate to the. So it tells you how far you would have to aim differently. That's why you
Yeah.
always have to aim in front of the arcade indicator. Because you bear in mind when that was originally designed, it was designed for you to be using it when you were using a plane behind another plane, so it draws a line straight through the enemy plane, basically. But when you're side on, it's accurate to the back of the plane. So it's not the best.
But yeah, I think it's dope. It's also going to be decently balanced. Like I don't think that it's going to be the tank killer that it is right now. I think they might do something with those missiles and how they work.
Yeah. They can't hit the live in their current function. It's
If you
just
fire an anti-air missile at a tank, it's not going to kill it. And those missiles are made to shoot planes down,
Yeah.
helicopters down. They're not supposed to do that to tanks.
Yeah,
you could
it's-
plop one underneath the turret of the Abrams and it'll blow it up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Can't-
the general ethos of air-to-air missiles is that they explode relatively close and fill the plane with shrapnel, and that it's the HE effect that blows the plane apart or the helicopter apart. It's not. You don't have anywhere near the same pressures that you would need, to have like a HE shell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. It's meant to tear apart thin aluminum helicopters and planes.
And they're not.
Destroy
and
control
they're not-
surfaces, set
planes
fire.
aren't high. Like, it doesn't need to have that same sort of explosive mass to it.
Mhm. I agree. Did you test out what else? What else was new? They added, APDS. People were telling me got buffed, major
Good.
buff on the 105.
Yeah, Conway APDS is ridiculous. We're talking like
upper
it
front
has
plating
almost as
and
much
shit.
pen as the Mango.
Yeah, what is this, 400 almost?
470 odd.
470.
Damn, for a 105. Oh, the Conway for the
But I mean,
120. Well, that's nice. Yeah, I don't have an issue with that. The 105 then must be in the 400s too, right?
It's just under, I think.
Like
It's like
380,
380.
390. I didn't use it, but that's good. It should be better on flat pen. Like it should pen more than it was.
The 20-pounder as well is about 380, and the 17-pounder is about 270, I think. They're all pretty. Because Bulldog as well is just under 300 as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's dope. I'm happy that they're doing that. It should help the stock grind on a lot of fucking tanks. You know, now when you get a chieftain and stuff in your stock, your APDS is gonna do damage.
I think, yeah.
Damage.
I don't remember what the post pen was like, but I imagine it's probably.
Yeah,
because of the
people were
way
saying
it
that they were killing like T64s and stuff with the APDS
Yeah.
if they
I
hit
think
the right spot.
from what I remember from the guy who was data mining everything, the more residual energy an APDS shell has after it penetrates armor, the more damage it'll do. From the actual internal tests in the game they did. So yeah, like the more pen it has, there's like an intermediary threshold that dictates. It's all stupidly complicated and I can't remember it, but basically, more pen, more damage, I guess, probably. So hopefully it's going to be a lot.
Yeah.
Which I mean, it shouldn't be one-shotting stuff, like just by the nature of what it is, I guess. But it should be a lot easier to use now, which is a good thing.
So I got the T2 going, I think, as fast as it possibly can. 1910.
Really?
I got to go in 1910 before ripping it.
Oh, my cat is going to attack me.
1.68. I mean, that's ridiculously fast. Yeah. If you think about it.
The thing from like.
That's
the
obviously
simulated
clean wing, but.
fights we did, like, that thing can dictate most of its
Fights,
encounters
yeah.
stupidly well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know how if any of that's going to change, but yeah, it seems like there's some stuff in the BR range that's likely going to be in the BR range. It is untouchable.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll have to see what.
So fighting it in the 19, I did play a little bit against people using it and stuff. I didn't notice it being like using it myself too. I didn't feel that it was overpowered. So the gun, it's on one side and it's a Vulcan. It literally will push your plane like you're ruddering, like a small rudder input every time you shoot it. So you kind of have to do this weird aim thing. Of course, if you hit a plane, it's pretty much dead, but you can lose speed pretty fast in it. Doesn't have huge like surface area. It's like literally a dart. It's just meant to go fast in a straight line. So as soon as you start to turn, it loses all of that advantage it had. It felt like. So I don't think the speed is going to be that crazy unless the person who's flying it really understands how to fly up to a high altitude, dive down. But even at that, I still think the MiG climbs better than it.
I mean, the only negative to it is that if that thing is going to be zooming away, it's going to need to be bleeding through its fuel.
Yeah.
And it bleeds through its fuel stupidly quick.
Yeah.
And it's easy. It's kind of easy to dodge the gun. Like, it's from the people I was playing against. They didn't. I mean, obviously, people have been playing it for hours, so they're not going to get the aim down.
I was trying to radar guns like you constantly rather than actually work out where the aim point is. Like I in every engagement I did in that thing, I tried to use the radar gun sight to see how easily accessible it is to get access to a lead indicator in ARB.
Mm-hmm.
So I was more focused on trying to do that and try to manipulate that than I was on actually learning the aerial marksmanship of the gun.
I don't just mean
No, you can.
But
Just put my 2 cents in.
Okay, I need 2 pence, and I got you.
2 lira.
2 pence.
200 rubles.
Yeah, I think it's if you put like the good jet players in the T2 in its current state, completely untouchable. From my very limited outlook on not knowing how jets work, but it seems like when we were just doing full customs and stuff. Sorry to go on, but like I don't know what I'm doing in jets, and I could just sort of barely do anything, and no one came close. But I haven't played it very much. I don't know, but
So if you watch the stream quick, I'm gonna show you how long it took me to go that fast though, at that altitude. Also, watch this stall, for the record. Like stalling this plane. It just fell out of the sky. I literally just fell out of the sky after spawning. It was crazy. I'm falling straight. So yeah, it kind of, and it's not a stable gun platform either. The wings are so short that it rolls heavy. Like, you know how some planes, kind of like the 162, will like roll over because it's got the engine on top. It kind of feels like you got something on your back when you roll it.
yeah.
It's because it's got the shoulder. The wings are mounted to the top of the fuselage, not the middle. So like you get an awkward roll. But yeah. So this is, all right. So I'm at 10K going 950, and it took me until like, let's see. So that's where the island is. 6 minutes. Let's just say 6 minutes and 30 seconds. So 3 minutes to get going to 1500. So I mean, you can obviously do that. And then I flew all the way to the barrier, rebounded, and then had to fly all the way back to get it going that fast. And then I had a shallow dive. So like the MiG at that altitude, the 19 flies around 1300 anyway. So I don't think it's gonna be super deadly.
Gotcha.
It just doesn't feel like that powerful of a jet besides the speed. It's going to be something that you really have to. It's like when the Hunter was first added. Like you couldn't turn that thing. You start to turn and you're getting caught by everybody, especially with all these missiles and stuff now. I don't know.
I think the main problem with it is that if you get like one of the quad sweaty squads that are all playing the spaded T2, they're never going to lose. If they know how the plane, if they get to know how the plane works, almost down to the T, which probably won't take very long. And if you get those people all playing it, there's nothing anyone else can do. If a good jet player already, even with planes that aren't they're just playing normal planes, some of them can be nearly untouchable. But if you put them in a plane like that, in a quad, or like a quad sweaty squad, they're gonna win every game. There's nothing anyone else is gonna do, because I mean, comparatively, the average person in top tier isn't really gonna know what to do to counter that. They're not,
Yeah, I think a bigger problem that's going to arise with that is not a sweaty squad. I think it's rather going to be the premium sabers and the T2 getting into the same matchmaking. So now you're fighting a slow aircraft that has air-to-air missiles, and then you're fighting the fastest aircraft that has air-to-air missiles. So you're going to be in this weird equilibrium where, like, do you keep your speed? Do you not keep your speed? Do you do this or that? It's going to be interesting, to say the least. We'll have to see. I don't think it's going to be as bad as you're thinking, but again, we don't know. We have to wait till it comes out and play it. See how it goes.
I'm only really going off the when I know dudes that play a lot of top tier, like in quads and playing F100 MiG-19. They probably lose like, I don't know, maybe 2 out of every 20 games. I could have just said 1 out of 10 and made it simple. They barely lose, even with planes that are comparatively quite balanced. I guess the MiG-19 is easier or better. I don't know. I'm just assuming. But even on relatively equal footing, they're basically close to unbeatable.
Yeah.
And if you put them in a vehicle like the T2, with the vehicles that are coming now, which aren't even, I don't think they're that close. These are people that barely make mistakes. And if they're just going, I mean, they're all going to be playing the T2. All of those people who like the really good players, they're all going to be playing it. It's they're gonna wreck. And
I don't think it has an analog.
I think we'll have to see.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, this is just obviously all speculation from everyone.
I just think devil's advocate of it, after using it for a little bit, I found the gun was kind of hard to use. It had a little bit of a spool up time. It pushes the plane. It's good at rolling It's good at turning to an extent, but as soon as you get about 180 degrees into your turn, it starts to lose speed rapidly. Like it really loses speed. It loses maneuverability.
The thing,
I,
I guess the thing with it. So, sorry, go on.
Oh,
Sorry.
I was
Yeah.
just gonna say, like, I think the biggest factor for that isn't even gonna be ARB. I can't wait to play it in ARB, but I think for ground forces, the Type
Oh
90,
yes.
Type 89, uh, basically a Gepard, right? The Type 87, the new Type 74 with the
74G.
that APFSDS shell, and then a T2, and you have the Hydras and Sidewinders. It's gonna be a very very good loadout. Like it's finally there.
Japan
yeah.
is gonna have. They're gonna have, you know,
A f-
a lot of options that they didn't have.
finally, finally they needed it. I don't think it's better and or worse than
I kind of think,
America, but
other than the Tunguska, Japan has kind of got its significant edge in a lot of factors that other nations don't have. Like arguably best, or you know, top tier light tank, whatever you want to. Arguably best top tier tank. Maybe not so much the next patch of the TATU, but the Type 90, this patch definitely can be argued to be the best pound for pound tank.
Mhm.
T2, is it gonna have is it gonna have an equal? Like, are you gonna be able to make use of how the T2's, you know, mad speed is an edge in ground RB? Because I don't like a lot of fights in ground RB are basically dogfighty turning things rather than, you don't really get energy fights unless someone's trying to run away.
Mhm.
It's all quite close all the time.
I think the thing ultimately with the T2 is that, like, every plane, I guess, with its ups and downs, has a performance limiter and a skill limiter. So the skill limiter on the T2 is the gun. It's hard to use, it pushes the plane about, but that's something you can practice and get better at. The
yeah.
performance limiter beats everything else in terms of the speed. So if that aspect, I mean, basically the negatives of the vehicle can be practiced to not be as much of a problem, but the raw, like the hard numbers of it, make it a problem, I think, overall, because that's something that's always going to be there. But the problems can be countered by playing a lot and practicing. Whereas, like for the other vehicles that might fight it, I mean, they can practice all they like, but they don't have the hard numbers to counter it. I guess in some, like, obviously, I don't know, but in the way things currently are, with just the numbers, they can't catch it, or there'll be situations where they can't do anything, and the skill doesn't matter. It's the hard performance of the plane. But the how difficult it is to land the shots on that Vulcan, that can be, people are going to learn how to do that.
Oh yeah, of course. I also think
That's a
people are
tiny
going to learn how that thing.
Well,
What'd you say?
which we're not really talking about. It has a tiny bit of a spool up time.
Yeah.
Like
What-
there is a delay on your trigger.
People are going to get good at that.
Well.
But I think in the time that people learn how to fly that thing, I think it'll become less of an issue because of other people learning how to fight it. I don't know. We'll have to see. In ground forces, I'm excited to use it, but it's going to be interesting because of how fast it can actually go. Pull-up time, way different. You got to have a strong pull-out game if you don't want to smack into a tree. You're going to have to be shooting your Hydras from farther away. I don't know. It'll be interesting.
Mighty mice. By
Yeah, I'm still calling them Hydras. Croc definitely ripped, dude.
rest in peace, Crocker.
I don't know what happened to him. It's very weird. Did he type anything?
No.
Damn. Can we have an F in
Said
chat for our fallen
nada.
soldier?
He said nada.
But yeah, no, I'm excited. I think generally the patch looks pretty dope. Obviously, things need to be ironed out. I'm sure there'll be like probably 2 more dev servers before they really release it.
At least one.
At least,
I
yeah.
don't expect to release this Tuesday.
I would
So,
say
I mean, I would
probably
say next Tuesday the earliest.
next Tuesday or the Tuesday after, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they've still got vehicles that they're going to add in.
Yeah.
Like they never add everything on the first iteration. There's always a few things. Usually what they do is, from what I know anyway, this might be complete bollocks. They have loads of vehicles in reserve to judge community reaction, And if people are like, "Oh, where's our props?" They'll shovel a few in. Like when the Hamptons came out, those models were ready by about like they were at least about 2 years old, I think, before they're added into the game. So they have stuff in reserve to add in when it needs it. So
When
I
things
think
go south.
I don't know how true that is. I've heard it from a few places, but there's probably going to be some more stuff, some props or something like.
It's also, but well, I mean, as a company, it makes sense to be ahead of the curve rather than trying to,
Mhm.
Trying
rather
to
than
catch
just sort of
up.
trying to build for the next patch. You know, give yourself a 3 month turnaround time or whatever it is, 2 months, 3 months turnaround time. It makes sense to have things 6 months, a year, and have that roadmap, that internal roadmap, and say this is where we're going. These are our options. Like as a company, that's I would expect that to be the case.
Mhm.
Agreed.
They haven't like.
I mean, they've already planned out for like Anthem and stuff. They've already planned out like DLCs and patches and things like that years on their roadmap. So you have to say that it's going to be the case with War Thunder as well, and that's not a bad
What's the lowest tier thing they've added this update?
thing.
The SM, that Italian double
Is there-
engine.
has there been-
SM92.
Yeah.
Has there been any other like World War II thing that they've added? Because I can't think of one.
No, I don't think so.
They've added the Fire Streak, whatever it is, that clan only thing, but obviously we can't see.
Oh, that's for the event, yeah.
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 Sad for you, no World War II. However, like I said, they're going to have to go back to it, or they're going to have to go in a different direction because there's not much further they can go. Future.
Yeah, like the
Like-
thing is, like I'm more interested in World War II stuff. I've always found the designs and everything just way more interesting. I just like the way it plays more. Like I've always just preferred. But like, the thing is, it's for what it is relatively complete. It doesn't necessarily need to be padded out anymore.
Mhm.
It's like,
Not vehicle wise, but game mode wise and
Yeah, with
scenario wise, there is so much room. So much room.
this is something I think people will disagree with me on, but I don't think people really want game modes as much as they think they do. Because, I mean, people loved April Fools with like the vehicle, like, top tier fighting stuff. People really liked that because they didn't have an opportunity to get bored of it. And
Yeah.
it's the same with RB Enduring Confrontation. It's like the only reason why people really want that is because they've only got to play it a few times. It's like, oh, this is great. But how really like Enduring Confrontation is like a bit of a double-edged example because you only probably need to play one Enduring Confrontation match in an afternoon to get the same amount of progress as like 10 RB matches.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's like you're not going to be playing that all day. You're going to get bored of
Yeah.
just playing the same thing. And it's like what's going to happen? So say hypothetically they add a game mode where it's like you cap zones, you push the people, push people back. Like, no, poor
Words.
Hey.
Novorossk. They have 3 maps on that big map. They have it's like the train yard, the city at the top, and the city at the bottom.
Yeah.
They could make that one continuous thing, so it works like a C. You start at the bottom, push your way back up to the top. That could be fun. But the thing is, if someone's playing that, they go to the cap zone, they die. They go to the cap zone, they die. They're like, oh boy, I really enjoy this new game mode. I'm having a good time dying all the time. Nothing changes. It's just a different backdrop. Everything's
Yeah.
the same. So
I
I
just
think even
Really think like attack and defend game modes would work.
Oh
think
yeah,
they
I
would-
think
they
like
would- it would.
a
But I
push
think
pull
they're not
type
going to
thing.
be. When people are always having a go in the dev blog saying, "Oh, look at all this new stuff. We need new game modes," I don't think they. I mean, it's one of those ideas that's really nice in theory, and you think you really want it, but it's still the same. It's
See,
just
my
you're
idea
doing
for
basically
a
the same
new game mode right now, what I've been thinking about for a little while, I think I brought it up a while ago, is I want a way for new players and people who don't have the top tier stuff to experience that without
Mhm.
having to deal with the stock grind. So like a game mode like the April Fool's event where you get something with a level 150 crew, it's spaded, it's aced, you get 1 life in it, and you get to experience the top tier. Like that would be cool as a weekly type, maybe on the weekends. Like
Yeah.
just as a weekend thing. You could call it like the Weekend Warrior event or something. And you just put like you know, you could take
Aw.
maybe 3 loadouts or different loadouts. So you could pick like a light lineup, an anti-air lineup type of thing, and they'll give you like 3 top-tier spaded vehicles that you can just fuck around with, and you don't have to worry about. You can make some money doing that, and it'll give you a little bit of, you know, like solidifying the fact that all the time you're spending on the grind is worth it right now because you might get this stuff if you keep grinding.
that's a
Like
good-
you know, it'll keep you in there.
Let me make the case for this a different way, Oxy, that might seem a bit more enticing, because you've got this idea of like, oh, attack, defend, die, die, die. Oh, I'm dying by attacking. I'm having. The thing
an
is,
example
we
of
need,
thing.
we need a means to an end to allow a wider array of tactical implementation of the vehicles and types of vehicles that we have in the game. At the moment, if you play a tank destroyer on 3-cap dummy, you are kind of putting yourself in a worse tactical position than if you were to pick a panther. Like if you were to pick a Ferdinand over a panther, tactically and maneuver warfare wise, you are putting yourself at a disadvantage because you have no turret, you are less maneuverable, blah 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 blah. Obviously not the case with every casemate, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, recon vehicle, you could, if you were defending, you could put those way out on the flanks and you can just, spot people for ages, which at the moment you don't really have a choice to do because ultimately a recon vehicle, you're going to have to go to a cap or you're going to have to brawl with mediums and heavies.
Mm-hmm.
Like, bless you.
Bless
the actual sort of wider array of tactical implementation we can't get with the current game modes. So we need a means to enable that, and changing the way that the game is played by changing the way that the objectives is laid out seems to me like a reasonably good way of allowing this tactical freedom some of the time, not all of the time, but allowing this tactical freedom, to do all these different things, to say, I'm going to be a tank destroyer, I'm going to defend like defensive line A, I'm going to sit here, I'm going to defend this corridor, and whatever's going to come at me is going to have to go through me. That's how you should be playing something like a Ferdinand, something like a Yak.
I think they could fix.
You don't get to the same degree.
True.
Yeah.
I think they could
Ultimately,
fix that, like with rewarding people who play their vehicle the way it should be played, and to a higher
I
degree.
don't give people an RP bonus for sitting in the same place with the tank destroyer. Like,
No,
obviously
but
that's the conclusion that I've jumped to. But I mean, different
yeah.
objectives
But what I'm
allow
saying
different
is,
play styles, whereas there is a meta, there is a way to play and be effective, and there's ways to play and be less effective.
of course.
I think ultimately it's a map problem in that you can't really have those dynamics on every map. It just doesn't work. But the thing is, like, I've always liked this idea of you get more RP. Like example being air RB for like sitting near a bomber, whatever. But you can't base a game mode around like with like the presumption that players will do what they're supposed to. It won't work. Like you can't make a player play a vehicle like they're supposed to, because I mean, part of the draw is that you can just do whatever you like and it might work.
But that's already an argument that applies now. Like, if everyone on your team goes to one cap point in a 3-cap, you can't force people to go to all the cap zones, but you're going to lose the game because they've got no tactical control of the rest of the map. If it's just you and one other person going to the other 2 cap points, guess what? You lose 2 cap points most of the time. And there's a comment there saying that corridor maps are bad. Eastern Europe is one of the best maps in the game. And
It depends on how corridor it is.
like that no, but that 3-cap,
Yeah.
where one team gets A, one team gets B, the middle, you fight over the middle cap. That is a really good map. It has a lot of different play up. It's engaging every time you play it. It's not going to play out the same every time.
I think the more kind of constrictions you put on players to play a certain way or do a certain thing, the less people are going to enjoy it, and that's always going to be the way with it. Like those kind of dynamics come from like playing in a squad, and the different there's modes like that. But like for just random RB games, I don't think with the way the maps work right now, I don't think it should be jumped to that straight away.
Think of like Big Tunisia. Think of how many different sort of. You only have to like certain maps, like there's 38th parallel 1 caps where if it's on the one side of the map, like part of the other side of the map gets redded out. Do you know what I mean? Like if you could do, there's so many options with the bigger sim layout maps to just red out some angles a little bit, and then you've got a battle corridor, and works. I really want to see it tested. I want to see it. I want to see how it works.
Mhm.
I want to see something different to allow people to have more tactical freedom, or different tactical freedom. Not necessarily more, but different tactical choices.
I don't think it's ever gonna work unless, because I mean, people come in like with their lineups and everything. There's not always going to be a place for everyone if they make a map like that. Like there's always going to be like certain types of vehicles are always going to be more popular than other ones, and if it's like regulated to that extent, there's always going to be a really big hole in every front. So like they're gonna have to do a lot of testing with it and a lot of changing stuff. I don't think it'll work right away because they're putting too much kind of trust in players to put all the pieces there for them to make a match like that work.
I'd
Like,
say a lot of people do play the objective, and I'm not talking about like grand, complicated strategies. I'm just saying this is the cap point that you need to defend, like a la battle, right? It's just one team has a battle cap point, the other one doesn't. You've got to go cap this. You know how break work, like you've got to cap this, then
Yep.
that, then that, and the other team's got to defend. Spawn point varies. You know, the defending team gets less spawn points maybe because they're defending, they're going to have less respawns. The attacking team gets more spawn points, or has less of a spawn point increase when they die. So you can spawn, more mediums for the sake of the same thing.
mhm.
I don't know. I think there's a lot of scope to broaden the gameplay
There
without just
definitely is.
randomly adding vehicles. I feel like there's a lot to be done and a lot to be said for changing the way the game is played in some other way than just adding stuff.
Oh, there
It's
is,
not to
yeah.
say,
Like,
not to say that I'm against adding stuff. I just want to see different ways to play. Like talking about freshening up ARB, these kind of things that we were talking about with EC, where you'd have like sign up objectives, like, oh, I'm going to go defend these IL2s, or these people are going to try and shoot these IL2s down, whatever. I want to see more like breadth, more rich, wider gameplay, which you're not going to get by just adding more vehicles and adding more variants. You need to change the sort of fundamentals of the way the game is played, and not get rid of the old stuff, just more.
Mhm.
Different.
should if they
If
did
it doesn't
it
work,
so
it doesn't work. They got rid of break, So I'm passionate about it.
they would have to do it in a way that every kind of gameplay choice was on the player's part. You couldn't like say like spawn someone in on a map and say, hey, you do this and go over here. Like it would have to be
That's what
completely
happens
down
on
to
every single map already.
players.
Hey,
Yeah.
you go back these
Mhm.
points. Go
But you'd have to,
you're doing battle defend to beat.
yeah.
That already
But
exists. The only difference is that they'll be asymmetrical instead of symmetrical.
you need
Basically,
to
that's all that's changing is the symmetry.
it's a map problem ultimately. It would only work in certain situations, and like I've always wanted tasks in ARB and stuff, but it doesn't go as linearly as a task would go. If it's like go and defend these things, if nothing comes along to stop you, you're wasting your time. You could be spending time doing something else, but if that's your job, you're gonna get bored. It's like if you're in tank RB and it's like, hey, take this huge TD and cover this hill. Like players get really, really bored. Like, it's a weird example, I guess, but in I think pretty much every single example or every single time I've had like a standoff with someone around a corner, they get bored before I do and come out and I kill them.
Yeah.
Everyone's super bored.
People get bored.
And the way Gaijin's philosophy is they want the matches to go as quick as possible. So that kind of gameplay won't translate to how the maps are made now and how the way they want to make stuff work.
But I'm not talking about I'm not talking about things that are more sort of linear and guided. I'm just saying give us different objectives.
Mhm.
Like put the A point on one side of the map and have one team defending it and one team attacking it. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying like the tasks example. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of things that could be discussed and done with that. And yes, there is the argument against boredom, but I just want to see more broad gameplay, man. I just want to see more things.
I think we
I
all
wanna
do.
see
We
more
all do.
more
It's just
objectives, and
Mhm.
I don't think that there's any harm in trying it out.
they have tried it out before years ago. They used to have like a plane crash somewhere on the map, and you need to go and cap. That's where the D point was. The D point was this crashed plane. You had to
Yeah.
go and recover stuff from it, and they removed that because, well, from what I remember, it was annoying. It disrupted people from protecting their zones, and everyone who always went through it just died every time because it was so in the open. Not a good. I'm not trying to say varied gameplay wouldn't work because of that, because that's a bad example. But I mean, I guess in their eyes, they have grounds to not pursue it because it hasn't worked in the past.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, it makes sense.
it would definitely work. But I guess an example I've seen from tournament gameplay, you get players like dug in, it's impossible to remove them. And I think a lot of players would get frustrated. Like if there's on one side like that, it's like one cap and one's turning. You put like a couple of Ferdinands in there with the way things are currently balanced. Get decent AA air cover. It's going to be impossible to knock them out, and it's going to be frustrating. Like it's not going to be impossible, but it's widely frustrating.
This is where you iterate for things like the attacking team having more air power, having lower spawn point costs, and then the defending team having less CAS but more fighters. You know, like you can
the problem
like you can adjust spawn point costs based on loadout, so you can make it so that the defending team can have interceptors coming to defend the objective.
You'd have to
lower spawn point costs, but the attacking team having more CAS to break the objective.
The problem in that is that you'd have to enforce people bringing those vehicles in, because not everyone, like, there are players that don't bring planes in. Like,
there are players that don't spawn and shoot me down in my Zulu, and I've killed 10 of their friends, and they're still complaining about how OP the Zulu is. It's like you could have spawned in the plane and shot me down in 3 minutes.
I know, like, it's a hypocritical argument, but you can't force them to bring them in, which is the problem. Like, if gameplay had to revolve around that kind of versatility from players, you'd have to force them to take certain stuff, otherwise it would be imbalanced and it would fall apart. Like the reason why the current gameplay has consistently stayed the same is because it's varied but equal, and that every team has the potential to do the same thing on every side. If it's inherent, if like it's deliberately imbalanced, well, if there's different balances from each side, like more spawn points or more advantage on the side of the map you're on, like you'd need to have the players going in to have set things to react to the changes going on, and I don't know how they would enforce that. Like it would be a lot more fun and varied, but I don't know how they could realistically do it.
I think it's worth giving it a go.
It is. Like I would really like to see them trial, like maybe we could do it. Maybe we could kind of make a custom up about like that port, and we just put like people make custom maps all the time.
We can take a leaf out of sort of the way to name drop, like Fly's community does very good sort of guided and limited custom battles where they say, oh, you can bring in these things and those things and that things, but not this thing. You can have 2 spawns of that thing, one, so that they're really sort of forcing the balance that way.
Yeah.
I mean, we can do it to that degree, or we can do it, less to that degree. We can just say you've got X amount of points to spend on these vehicles total. I mean, not even necessarily spawn points within the game, just give people allowances of what they can and can't bring as a sort of general idea. But I really, really, really just want to see some kind of freshening of the gameplay, because you can freshen a lot by changing little if it's the core stuff.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it would. A lot of people would probably come back if they changed even little bits of the gameplay. I don't know how they would realistically do it, but yeah, it is somewhat necessary.
Most maps have space to expand. So Marsdark, the main road that sort of runs all the way through the middle of Marsdark, that extends, and you can expand the tank map out quite some way.
Yeah.
And if you wanted to create like a sort of finger quotes Hell's Highway, where one team has to fucking move along and cap the end of it, and the other team is defending. Like these things can exist with very, very small iteration. And you talk about sort of Guardian Angel and these sort of events that we used to have. You can do the same thing now. You just, you can do it in tanks. You just need the right game mode. You just need the right sort of scenario put in place, and you can have these same sort of attack. Because I just think it'd be so much more engaging than just 3 cap, 1 cap. There you go, battle. There you go.
It would be. New game modes would be good. I think it's something we should just test out. Let's just test it out sometime. If anybody has any suggestions, feel free to join the Angle Better Discord and give us your suggestions for new game modes so we could test out in custom battles and stuff. But that brings me to my next question.
Yeah.
It's my next question. I
thought you
can't
were
talk
gonna do
about
it.
any more game modes. I can't. I
I
can't
thought
talk.
you were gonna do it.
Do what? Play Thunder?
I've been watching you look at your F100 for a while.
I know. I put some decals on it.
Yeah. Well, I thought you were gonna do the Thunders.
Eh. I might in a little bit.
In a little bit.
I kind of got to clean up the house a little bit. Make a video, you know. Gotta do some stuff, you know. Dude.
Gotta go some stuff. Dude.
Gotta figure
Where's he
out if
gone?
Croc died,
Where's he
dude.
gone?
I don't know. I think Croc died.
Where's he gone, dude?
And on that terrible disappointment. But yeah, you should get in Wood Thunder. And
Suppose.
load up the strams.
Yeah, I'm on it.
You're the after hours of Angle Better.
I'm the after out. Nice, thank you.
You're the
Really appreciate that one, mate.
Well, I mean, you're here during the hours too.
Yeah, I am. I am also, you know,
Oh,
1/3 of the
so
crew.
be it if you're, 20 minutes late and there's no reason to say anything.
I wasn't 20 minutes late. I wasn't 20 minutes late, though, was I?
No, you were 2 minutes late. And then 15 minutes of preparation.
Yes. Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, boy.
Okay, I'm gonna turn my camera off.
But, guys, thank you all for stopping by to the Angle Bader podcast. Podcasts. It was good. I had fun today. We talked about all the new stuff, all the old stuff, and all the stuff that they should change.
All the borrowed stuff, all the blue stuff,
All the purple stuff,
all the new borrowed and blue.
all the new borrowed and blue. Dab on the haters. That's all clean clothes I have to. Yeah, I have stuff I gotta do, you know? Look at my bed. It's a mess. It's a mess.
Dab on the hater.
It's a mess. I got a shower and everything.
Shower.
Shower.
Shaving again.
No, I won't shave again. But thank you everybody for stopping by to the Angle Better podcast. We do these around 12 p.m. EST, 5 p.m. GMT. I say around, I can't stress that enough.
Give or take.
Give or take, Croc died. I don't know what happened to him. But yeah, if you want to get in the scoop, join the loop by hitting that Discord link. All right. I think that's it. I think that's a solid pitch.
Solid pitch, though.
Join the loop and get the scoop. And we won't give you the dupe. Croc is gone. Crab Reef.
Yeah, rest in peace, Croc. Where's he gone?
I don't
Where'd he
know.
go?
Crab's gotta eat. Crab's gotta eat. Croc,
Where'd he go?
probably passed out, I would bet. I would bet he literally passed out. I think he's narcoleptic. You never know, though. You never know.
Douglas.
But we're gonna send y'all over to the Cato stream. Cato gonna play some more Thunder. I might join in a little bit.
I'm not a female Oxy. I'm like half as intelligent as Oxy.
No, you're not. I just sound relatively posh, so I can trick people into thinking that I'm smart.
But all right, I will see you guys. Thank you all for having me.
Later,